Hello and welcome along to Aston Villa from the stands. I hope you're well and you enjoy this video. If you are watching on replay, then make sure you smash a like, and if you're watching live, then also get involved in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and let your thoughts and feelings be known to all things Aston Villa here. I hope you're good. We've got a few stories to cover, some big ones as well. And yeah, listen, there is a lot to discuss. Jadon Sancho, open and interested for a move to Aston Villa. Do we like it or not? Let me know your thoughts on that one. Loic Bade as well. Looks like we're returning on him. And actually, this is the type of player, again, that Unai Emery has been chasing and chasing. And is this going to be time wasted or is this going to be time gained? I really hope this time we are not wasting our time on a player who simply turned us down in the last window in January. And now we're going back for him now. So let me know your thoughts, feelings on that. As I said, run up the likes for me right now. Get involved in the comment section. And we're going to break it down. We've also got other news. We did a video earlier today, a Fabrizio Romano latest sort of drop of Jesus Rodriguez of Real Betis. We'll quickly touch on him as well later on in the stream today. A player in which, Aston Villa were looking to make the first contact and interest after actually losing out on Sven Nifan. So, yeah, big up to everyone. Big up to those of you in the chat. Look, United Rejects is maybe the start of this conversation, as Andy has put in the chat, and it's a weird one. Have a look at this, and this stance for me is very interesting on Jadon Sancho. So this came in a few hours ago today. It said, Justin, Aston Villa are interested in Jadon Sancho. Sancho is also open to the move. This is from Graham Bailey, the reporter there. But yeah, it's a weird one here. First of all, we're interested in, but also Sancho's open to the move. Look, I think that Jadon Sancho is a lost soul in football. And what I mean by a lost soul in football is he has no idea where his next club, next movement, next sort of, career revival is going to come. Of course, he had that sort of breaking to the scene where he flourished at Borussia Dortmund, and ever since then we've not seen him at Manchester United, and we certainly haven't seen him at Chelsea deliver any of the goods. But the biggest problem with Jadon Sancho is, as everyone knows and everyone is aware of, is the price of which you have to pay for his, how would I say it, huge salary. Have a look at this though. We're not the only teams in for Jadon Sancho, and he'll be twerking, I think, for the best club. It says it can be revealed that there are 3 Premier League clubs are battling to sign Jadon Sancho. The clubs are Aston Villa, Tottenham Hotspur, and Newcastle United. So again, 2 teams who are in the Champions League, Tottenham and Newcastle, and then there's us who will be in the Europa League. Look, I'm going to come into some of your comments and let me know your thoughts and feelings on that. But again, this one for me only seems to look like it will work if it's a Rashford type scenario. And look, we're going to have a few sort of rumours, murmurs, etc. when it comes to Rashford. This one says here, this journalist reported, Aston Villa are thought to be keen on a loan deal for Jadon Sancho, but Manchester United would prefer cash to free up funds for a rebuild. And that's why I go to that whole Rashford scenario and situation. Are we able to get Jadon Sancho on a loan, or are we going to have to absolutely pay up some money? It's crazy. It's crazy because, again, this is a player I feel is a massive risk and gamble. I think when Marcus Rashford first came to Villa and we were linked with him, there were fans out there who said, this one is either going to work or isn't. A player who was casted out, ousted out, someone who needed to revive his career, and he used Aston Villa as that platform. He got himself back into the England setup, and he got himself in amongst the football echelons of, being recognised in the Premier League of the talent he is. Jadon Sancho feels different for me. The reason why I don't like Jadon Sancho, I feel different, is because he had a real public spat with Eric Ten Hag, if you can remember. Got very vocal on social media, and then basically made it out that he was being victimised, and that was his loss of confidence. The biggest thing for me, though, is that, when you see Jadon Sancho going to Chelsea and not seeing any rise in form or any standout performance, you start to think, is this player a little bit too big for his boots? One thing that obviously always reminds me of Jadon Sancho is when Marcus Rashford put this on social media, on Instagram. When he first joined Aston Villa, Marcus Rashford posted that on Instagram, and Sancho left in the comment section, freedom. He actually left in the comment section freedom to Rashford, as if to say you're free from Man United, you get to play a game, you get to ball out. Now, interestingly, at the time, I don't know if you remember, Marcus Rashford wanted to pull himself away from any of that. He wanted to pull himself away from any media speculation at all, and being dragged into the hatred of Manchester United. Because remember, these players, Sancho and Rashford, are Man United players still. So when Jadon Sancho was commenting that on Marcus Rashford's post, he's putting Rashford in the shit, but he's also put himself in there. And so for me, Sancho feels a massive risk. And the reason why I'm saying massive risk is because if Villa don't get him on loan and this is a permanent move, we've got to be careful what wages we're offering. We've got to be careful in terms of the longevity of his contract. And most importantly, we've got to be looking at it going, if he doesn't shine at Villa, then he's had 3 Premier League clubs, 3 Premier League attempts and failed. So a lot of you in the chat are not keen on Sancho. Andy said he could be called Sanch. No. Yes, big up. Do smash the like button, people. Thank you. Big up to everyone in the chat. We've got, I'm not keen on Sancho at all. Massive risk. A big no, please. Does not want Sancho. I'll go on Loic Bade in a bit. I don't know if Sancho was like a Dortmund. What I do know, he's been a flop at Man Chelsea. Real Tom, big up to you. Listen, at Dortmund is where he made his name for himself. At Borussia Dortmund is where Jadon Sancho caught the eyes of everyone. And it started being discussed of, have Man City let go a massive baller. Balling it out in the Bundesliga is completely different to balling it out in the Premier League, as Sancho has found out. As I said, he is not one of those players that is nippy, speedy, full of tricks. He's just a really weird winger in the sense that, he had a bit of a GA&M product at Dortmund, and we'll get his stats up in a second and have a look at that. But second of all, he's not a winger that just glides past people like Rodgers and Ramsey do. So I'm really interested to see it. I love this comment from Mike. I hope we sell name rights to Villa Park to Wes Eden's hedge fund and just call it Fortress Villa Park. Would be unreal. Big money coming on that as well. Villa 24/7 is saying, I know Sancho is inconsistent, but if Unai would transform him, he would be great. It's true. Unai Emery does have the power to transform players. Unai Emery is one of those coaches, and we've seen him do it time and time again. But my thing with Sancho is that the mentality and attitude. I think he's a bad egg in a dressing room, and I think that's proven at Manchester United. At Chelsea, he had to remain probably a little bit quiet as he was a loanee. But I just think his stint at Manchester United, the way he ousted himself, the way he basically publicly called out Ten Hag, the way he publicly tried to force a move, it was all too public. And then even still when he's at Chelsea, to publicly comment on Marcus Rashford's post about freedom, I just don't know if I like it. I don't know if this player is good enough to be able to do this. Do you know what I mean? So there we go. I think we need to be wary of prima donna wingers. Rashford wanted out. Sancho's being kicked to the curb by Chelsea. We have to just talk about prima donna in general. And I hate to say it, but if Boubacar Kamara keeps saying he wants to play Champions League football, then you're sort of telling us how you feel. And us Villa fans, we're not going to feel sorry for you. We're going to say ta-da. And that goes for any footballer. You're not bigger than this. You're not bigger than this. And we have to remember that. I think Josh Villa Samba's acquired. Yes, my guy, Spicy. I hope you went at the. Did you go at the ball ring and do that, Spicy? If so, are you happy with it all? But Meek said players like him need to take on a season loan first to see if we get them ticking. Exactly. It's too much of a risk to do it permanent. Let's go to this article and I'll come to the comments. Big up to everyone. Guys, keep running up the like button for me. Would appreciate it and massively helps me out. Another Man U fan channel said this. Aston Villa interested in Sancho and the players open to the move, as reported by Graham Maley. But this is the part that caught my eye. But honestly can't see this happening unless it's a loan deal again. Villa unlikely to match his 300k a week wages. Neither will Sancho agree to lower it. 300k, chat. 300k. 300k for Jadon Sancho a week. You're joking me. I mean, my head goes when I see that Amadou Onana and Donyell Marlin are on 140k a week. So Jadon Sancho on 300k a week, you can kiss my ass on that one. I would absolutely be fuming to see a player like that on 300k a week at Villa. So he has to take a wage cut. And this is the thing. These players, a Jadon Sancho type player, right? A Jadon Sancho type player could get caught and stuck in the football sphere of greed. If this guy does not lower his wages, if this guy does not take the cut that is required, then absolutely he is in a little bit of a mess. So there we go. Chat, by the way, do let me know. I'm hoping the Wi-Fi is all okay. I keep getting a little warning signal, but hopefully we're all good in the chat and the viewing experience is still okay. But yeah, can't judge any players in their time at United. It's there, but I'm judging them on Chelsea as well. I am going to get Jadon Sancho's stats right now. But it's true, but he was so underwhelming at Chelsea. Daylight robber, isn't it? If he's worth 300k, I'm worth at least 10k. It's crazy, isn't it? But yeah, unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, Sancho ain't coming, nor are we after him. Just BS, says Kevin. Right, this is what my take. Before I get the Jadon Sancho stats up, I want to say this to everyone, okay? These Manchester United links are not going away. Both ways. Tell me why. Tell me why. Someone trying to enlighten me without being like me being cynical. And this is not a trick question. This is me thinking out loud, okay? Why on earth are we constantly seeing Emi Martinez to Manchester United links? Why on earth do we keep seeing Garnacho links? And now Sancho links? And that Rashford shit, by the way, if he doesn't land his Barcelona deal, Rashford links won't go. Why? There's something got to be there. There's something stupid because you don't pull out these rumours about Manchester United out of nowhere. It doesn't make sense. And unless I'm overthinking this, and Kevin, and big up to the chat, by the way. I love the divide in the chat of opinions. There are some of you who always try and calm me down and say it's all BS, all BS. And some of you run with it with me and go, yeah, this is bad. I love it. I love it in the chat, the way you do that. What I don't love is that we haven't even got 20 likes yet on this stream. So smash that like button for me, people. Look. Why are Man United? What is it? There's got to be something going on. Whether it's a swap deal, whether it's a link or a transfer. I'm going to actually put this out here right now. There will be a transaction or two between Aston Villa and Man United come the end of the window. It's not going away. It's been going for weeks and weeks and weeks. I don't see it going away. So that's my prediction. Guess what? I've got loads of predictions wrong as well. But that's my thoughts and feelings on it. I don't think Sancho, I don't know. It's going to be a loan deal, I think, our way. And I'm scared of Emi Martinez still. Again, flip-flopping on that, but I'm scared of Emi Martinez. Just something doesn't sit right with it. But yeah, I think that we should be going hard for Marcus Rashford. But Marcus Rashford, this is the problem. This is my problem. We are. But he doesn't want us. People keep rejecting us. We've been rejected already hard by Sver Nipan this week. We keep getting rejected. Rashford is rejecting us. Rashford is saying, these guys didn't get Champions League, so I'm looking elsewhere. And that's the reality of it. So, look, I completely agree. I think we should be going. I think we should be making a bit of more of a song and dance. We're getting linked to dusty wingers like Garnacho and Sancho. Then we should at least be going. You know what? Marcus Rashford's proven it for us. We should be fine with that. So, with all the certainty around transfer, realistically, where does everyone think Villa finish the league? Wow, it is at the moment. I was thinking about this today. Actually, I was actually thinking if Villa only signed one first team regular and lost, that's the big shout. One first team regular, because I think Villa are going to recruit in for the future in this window. If we only recruit one first team regular, is this Villa squad good enough still with who we have? We didn't lose anyone, bar maybe one. Would we still be a top six side? It's a big question. I think our transfer window, though, will sum things up. At the moment, got to trust in Unai. I've got to trust in the current squad. I think we could still be a top 6 side. I think we could still be a top 6 side. I think we're building foundations, and sometimes you don't need to go too crazy in a transfer window. You just need to get that 1 or 2 classy players in. Everyone believed that Villa had a good enough squad. Everyone believed that Villa was building one of the better squads in the Premier League. And so if that is the case, then we have to trust this squad. But yeah, let's see what happens. Spicy says, Emmy won't go there. It's too big a step down for him. I'll take Garnacho. Maybe I've never forgiven him taking the mickey out of Dougie. Garnacho is a weird one for me, but let's see. As I said, like Meek said, he has a feeling Rashford back. I've got a feeling we're making a deal with Manchester United this summer. It could be ugly, it could be pretty, it could be nice, it could be horrible. I don't know, but I think us and United are about to do some business, or will do some business on that. Right, quick look at Sancho's stats, just to remind ourselves of the player that we're looking at, because I don't think people realise how underwhelming his stats are. Really underwhelming. So at Chelsea, 31 matches, 3 goals, 4 assists in the Premier League, 7 GA. In a Chelsea team who were one of the best creators, a Chelsea team who finished in the Champions League, he only scored 3 goals, 4 assists. I think that's terrible. Personally, I think that's terrible. And Villa are looking to recruit players who are going to enhance our attacking output. Those numbers don't. Manchester United, again, the 22-23 season, 26 games, 6 goals, 3 assists. Season before, 29 games, 3 goals, 3 assists. It's all low GA. Don't like it again. It's very underwhelming stats to me. It's not someone you're paying 300k a week for. But where did he make his name? Where did he become big? Of course, it was Dortmund. And we go to his Bundesliga stats. He had some mesmerizing stats. Look at this. Look at these seasons. It's unbelievable to think this was once Jadon Sancho. Chat, that's unbelievable. In the 2018-2019, 34 matches, 12 goals, 14 assists, a GA of 26. In the 2019-2020 season, 32 matches, a GA of 33. More GA than matches. Dortmund, 2020-2021, 26 games, 19 GA. He absolutely panned it in Borussia Dortmund. He absolutely dominated in Borussia Dortmund. Those stats are a player. To have 12 goals, 14 assists, 17 goals, 16 assists in back-to-back seasons is scary. It's frightening. It's electric. It's what gave him the biggest name in football at the time. But he's now gone 3 full seasons and not even got over 10 GA. Is Unai Emery the man? Is Unai Emery the man to save that guy? Is he the man to save him? That's the big question, chat. That's the big question. Because when we say it, there's a player there, but it's all done in Bundesliga. When you go to his Premier League English stats, stinks. Absolutely stinks. So, yeah. Mark my words, we'll never be a mid-table small club again. These owners have raised the bar, made us a modern-day top 20 club. Look, top 6 has always got to be the aim for me, always finishing in Europe. I just want to see a proper wing on the left. I didn't even want to see McGinn there next season. A right back and a CB, that's all. I'll come to that because there is a report of basically, it's a sort of same old recycled report, but it's basically what Aston Villa are aiming for. Villa basically are recruiting a right back, a winger, and a backup striker. That's what we've been told is our sort of focus of players. So there we go. And the centre back and right back, I think, is going to be linking on to our next man. Ramsey on the left, homegrown, on 70k per week with Sancho, lazy period dollar 300k. Exactly that, Kevin. Exactly that. Let's get Duran again. Oh my God, Duran. West Ham want him. West Ham, I think, are going to go back in for Duran. I don't know if anyone's aware of the story of John Duran. Obviously, he had a bit of a fight with his manager in Colombia. But the news story is with John Duran is Al Nassr. He's basically asked Al Nassr if he can leave. So Al Nassr have gone, bloody hell, we only signed you in January. You've only been here 5 months. They want to loan him out. So John Duran is going to be available for loan. Imagine if he came back to Villa. It could never happen now. He could never come back on loan to Villa. Or could he? Or could he? Wouldn't that be a tide of turns, eh? We get all the money for him and then we get him back on loan. But there we go. Ian, with PSR, all we need to do is sell our women's team now and more about UEFA's income to salary ratio. Given we were 90% last season with extra Champions League exposure still, what do you think it is now? Well, the thing is, Ian, they've made it harder. They've actually changed that rule now for the following season, this year's competition. It now needs to be at 70%. They're making it hard. They're making it hard. Yeah, in world football, I read it like that. But yeah, Sancho at Dortmund 2 seasons ago was just unreal. Seen a clip of him against Nuno Mendes, and he destroyed him. Love that. Sancho's a non-starter. Wages alone is an auto reject. 300k a week. We simply cannot do. Unless Manchester United cover 50% of them, 75% of them. Does anyone actually know how much of Marcus Rashford's wages Villa covered in the end? That would be an interesting comparison. What did Villa do in terms of Marcus Rashford wages? I just don't understand us being linked with these massive wage earners when we need to get our wages down. It's so true. It's actually so true. And that's the thing. Villa are a little bit of crossroads, aren't they? Because we're trying to improve and strengthen our squad. And you can't do that by signing 18, 19, 20-year-olds, which is what we keep getting linked to at the moment. And so we're trying to bring in more experience, more rounded, more whole players. And you can't do that at the moment with the wages some of these players want, especially trying to pull them out of a club who have overpaid them in the first place, like Man United. So yeah, Rashford's on 240k. Is that what we paid? How much of that did Man United cover? Or did we pay 240k? Jeez, please, if so. But there we go. Right, let's go on to the centre-back, right-back situation then. And this one's an interesting one because I had a feeling, we reported this story a few weeks ago about this guy. And I said, oh, is this bloody like a João Felix sort of vibe? So here it is. Here it is. Aston Villa continued to prioritise the signing of Sevilla centre-back Loic Bade, which, of course, was someone who rejected us in January, someone who we spent a lot of time chasing, and he turned around and said, no, thank you. He actually wanted to play the project at Sevilla. So it says here again, Aston Villa continued to prioritise the signing of Loic Bade. The centre-back is more willing to leave this window. Loic Bade. The guy, as I said, he rejected us in January. Why are we so interested in this guy? It's quite simple. It's quite simple. It's because he can play right back and centre back. He can play in a back three or a back four. He can play a back five as well. But he's that versatile, and that's what Villa are trying to do. We're trying to sign a player who can play the right back and centre back role. Hence why Joe Gomez's name has been thrown around recently. Hence why Joe Gomez's name has been thrown around. Villa are simply trying to kill two birds in one stone. We're not looking for a specialist, and I think that they took massive belief from Ezri Konsa, someone who was able to do that role very well and very convincingly. So there we go. I heard Rashford is currently on 400k. It's madness. So we must have paid 50% of that, yeah. Loic Bade. Again, how do I sit with this? Yeah, Emi Martinez and Galatasaray is a rumour that has gone around as well. Again, a weird one. The Turkish side have just signed Leroy Sané, Galatasaray. So whether they come back for some big business again, we'll have to see. He's faster than Pau Torres, that's fine. He doesn't play in the same position as Pau, though, but that will be Tyrone Mings' spot, hopefully. Real talk, then. If a player rejected us in January and thought that the Sevilla project was better than ours, which he turned around and said, he wants to continue the Sevilla project, he believes in it, to then you turn 6 months later and say, no, I don't quite fancy it now. I actually want Villa now. You know, this is the guy that we missed out on, and we panicked so much that we had to get Axel Disasi. Loic Bade messed us around in January. He really did mess us around. It was clear and it was obvious. Monchi had said, Unai had said, this was their guy, this was their man, this is who they're going to concentrate on, this is what they're going to focus on. And in the end, he's rejected us. And I'm not gonna lie, as a Villa fan, I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm getting a little bit tired of players rejecting us. The Sven Nipan deal. I posted a video 3 or 4 days ago saying we're probably not going to get him now. And people told me to calm down. Calm down, Joy. It's all media. It's all spin doctor stuff. It's not real. We went out and gave him a project. We delivered him a presentation. Guess what? He rejected us. We're in a weird, precarious situation. We've got really rich owners. We're a club who's so close to being consistently in a Champions League. And yet I just feel that the universe, the footballing universe, is stopping us from doing that. I just feel like when I see players reject us and players just not fancy it and players going to other clubs instead of us, it hurts. It hurts. So, as brutal as it is, okay, I think, personally, and this is not everyone, I think there are some people, and I love all opinions, I think there are some people who've got this Villa bubble, these tinted glasses on still about where we are as a football club in terms of pull factor. We've lost it. We've lost it in some aspects. Just because we had Unai, just because we pulled Rashford and Sancho in January, what people aren't realising is that we've become a weak target. The PSR news is out there for all to see. The PSR news is out there for all to see. The failure to qualify for the Champions League is there to see. And because we're not a established top six side, because we're not a top six established side, you've got players from Europe who don't know who we are. You've got players from Europe who still look at Manchester United, and in our own domestic league, by the way, who still see Manchester United as a better prospect than Aston Villa. That's where it hurts. So Loic Bade, I get it. You rejected us in January. You're not going to do it again, are you? Are you here to mess us around, or are you here to come in and play for us? That's where I'm at. I don't want to spend another 3 weeks chasing someone. We spent 3 months chasing Nipan to just get rejected for Man City in the end. He's just gone. He said Monchi and Unai have gone out and wined and dined him, his family, gave him a lovely PowerPoint presentation, give him the pathway. This is what we're going to do for your career, blah, blah, blah. They all come out. The family are really impressed. Sven Nipan loves it. He tells Rosenberg that they're going. And then guess what? Man City just come in and go, we're Man City. How much do you want? Oh, yeah, we're Man City. We've won the Champions League recently. We've won the Premier League a lot. We're Man City. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. I'll go there. That's where we struggle. We keep turning up to gunfights. We bring a pistol. They bring the bazookas. So yeah, and look, I love all your opinions. I love all your opinions, but let's see what happens. Bade was worried about game time against Concert. Don't blame him, to be fair, but he's available at the right price. If you're good enough, you come in and dismantle someone. I think Asensio and Rodgers is the best sort of comparison. You know, if you're the best, you come and take that space. I want players who want to come and fight. Know there's depth, know there's competition. Tyrone Mings, man. Tyrone Mings knows that Pau Torres is Unai Emery's. Gotta be careful what I say, but Unai Emery's favourite. And Mings is going, I'm fighting for my space. I'm worthy of starting for Aston Villa. I'm going to be the starting left centre back. I like that belief from Mings. Tyrone Mings could have left Villa. Seriously, Mings could have gone in this summer and gone, do you know what? Game time's limited. I might not have many years left in my career. I just want to play. I've got back from these injuries. I know I love Villa, but I've got to move on for myself. No, he stayed loyal to Villa. He loves the Villa, but he actually believes in himself. I rate that. We haven't had the Felix link yet. Yet is the right word, Andy. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But yeah. So love it. But that was the start. That was the start, Blooms. That was the start of the Unai Emery pool, because it's his first couple of seasons. it's his first season, basically, of going, hey, this is my first season in the transfer window. Come and join the Unai Emery project. We've now seen the Unai Emery project for a couple of years now, 3 seasons, basically. And players around the world start to know what you're going to get. When it's fresh and you come in at the start of a project and this manager comes in at Villa, that's why I feel like we had those pull on those players. I'm not saying Unai's lost his pull. I don't. But I think Villa have... I don't think it's Unai Emery's lost his pull. I think the status of our football club in terms of financially and European competition-wise has. And I don't know why so many Villa fans keep dismissing it, looking over it, thinking PSR isn't an issue. Because it's only going to get worse because of next season with no Champions League football and the money from that. Big up to Jono, better late than ever. Just managed to get in after the work. You know the rules have got to go back to start to catch up. Big up Jono, love that. Luke is right though. We are building a solid base, and look, this is why. I agree in the first part. We're building a solid base for the future, 100%. It's still early days in the project. This is where I think I'll split with a lot of Villa fans, and that's fair enough. I don't think we're in early days in the project anymore. I think we're in crunch time of the project. I think we're in the delivering stage of the project, and that delivering stage is bring me a trophy. I'm going to put this out there. I do not want to become an Arsenal where their own fan base and outside of it get mocked for what phase are they in. What phase are Arsenal in? Arsenal are in phase 6 of Mikel Arteta, and every season they fail of winning the Premier League. They make the excuse of what the phase is. Phase 1 is rebuild. Phase 2 is get the transfers in. Phase 3 is get rid of the deadwood. Phase 4 is compete for competitions. Like, I get that, and I think it's quite cynical to say, but I think that we genuinely have to look at this and go, he's been there for 3 years now. Spears for this, he's done Conference League. He's got us in the Champions League. He's got us in Europa League. Love it, love it, love it. What does season 4 look like for Unai? What is the project? Where are we looking? So, yeah, I love it. I think it's exciting. I think it's great. And I think that he's the right man for the project. I think he's the right man to crack the 30-year drought of no trophy, 30 years. I think he's the right man. We'll win Europa League this year. It's a Unai's trophy, and the world will see us all in class and glory. Love that. If the Wonder Kid was any good, he won't be going to City. True. But yeah, big up to Door. Europa League is like these are still tough but winnable. The reason why I love the Europa League now is because you don't get the riffraff from the Champions League. Basically, Tottenham and Man United proved that this season, that it's an easier competition to win because you do not get anyone falling from the Champions League. Which is, again, I had a stat from 2016 to 2020. Every team that won the Europa League came from the Champions League in the earlier stages. So it's winnable. But yeah, Nippanta City is a weird one. Love Mings. Loving the vibes for Tyrone Mings in the chat. So yeah, there's a good mix on Tyrone Mings. Big up to Unai been handicapped since he walked in Jared's mistakes. I think that probably right now we could say that now there can be no more sort of comparison to Gerrard. The only thing I'll say about Gerrard is he did bring in Boubacar Kamara, but yeah, I think that one's gone. But I agree, James, he did have a lot to deal with, didn't he? A lot of mess to sort out, especially some of the contracts. Coutinho, Dendoncker, crazy contracts. Kevin says, winning the trophy gets the monkey off our back. Getting Champions League is the way forward financially, 100%. Just do what Newcastle did, guys. Do it both. So there we go. This is interesting from Luke. I think Unai is the first phase, personally. So how many years do you think Unai has got left at? In fact, chat as well then. This would be interesting. How many years do we think Unai's got left at Villa? I see him. I don't know. There's two sides of me. I see one that the owners love Unai so much that he gets almost the keys to have a couple more years of trying to crack the whip. I also see the other side of Unai Emery, who puts immense pressure on himself and always talks about season objectives. And I see an Unai Emery, especially his reaction at Old Trafford, the way it didn't go down. I see a man a little bit under pressure. I see a man who's been told that these are the objectives you need to make to keep our club in line, which is right. If our owners have got an objective and requirements and things to meet, and if Unai's not hitting them, he's under pressure. And I think Unai works well under pressure, though. I think Unai likes the pressure. I think Unai thrives under it. So let's see. A mix of years here. So we've got people like Brainy Bryan, who's saying 1 year, and then 3 and 4 years is a big one. So a lot of you are feeling Unai's a long-term project man. Do I think Ramsey might leave? There's a big chance that Jacob Ramsey could leave. Right, so here's my crazy prediction. I think Unai is expected to win a trophy in the next 2 years. That's all I'm going to say. And to be seen to be in a final. I think the Villa owners will want to see us in a final of a competition in the next 2 years. That's where Unai gets his longevity. That's how I see it as. While also maintaining that Champions League European status. And I hope the structure of the club, the future of our club, gives Unai all the tools to work with so that he can be there for another 5 to 10 years. At the moment, there's no better man. I can't think of a better manager than Unai Emery. I don't think there will be for a while. And until I sit back and go, someone could do this job better, then I'll never, ever question Unai as Villa manager. We don't know. He's the best we've ever had. He's the best since sliced bread. We don't know anything different. Yes, he frustrates us in certain games with his team selection or his overthinking of tactics or not matching up to opposition tactics, Crystal Palace. But we have a manager who has a proven track record of trophies and European heritage, and he's got to deliver for us as well. But yeah, big up to everyone. Big up to everyone in the chat. Make sure you smash the like button, guys. 21 likes. Let's get those likes right up. We should be on 30 likes by now, 100%. But there we go. So those are the news. I just think that pressure is a big thing on football. And I'll be really honest, if you want to go to the dark side of it, the reason why there's pressure in football is because of money. And Aston Villa, financially, as the world now seems to know, right, we're not in the best position when it comes to money. So money talks, delivering of expectations is the darker side of things. And let's see. Big up to Spicy in the house. Prez says, we finals with underwhelming managers. We need a victory, and if it's Unai, he deserves 10 years minimum. Let's hope so. Big up to Super Mike Taylor. I hope he's had a night off. I hope he's not working. I think he'll be under more pressure if he doesn't deliver a trophy next year. Hate saying that, but it's reality. Especially exactly that. Exactly my thoughts. I was going to be quite controversial. I'll put it out there now. Why not? I don't think it's controversial. I think if Unai doesn't win a trophy and we fall outside the top 6 next season, I think there's serious smoke coming his way, in which he's got to then either make the owners believe, because listen, the issue that Unai Emery's done, he's set such high expectations by qualifying for the Champions League the season before. That's the issue. Unai set himself up. So the expectation now is always to get Champions League. And as we all know, in life, in business, in football, it's all about trajectory. Is your manager and club going on an upwards trajectory? Is it just plateauing out? Or is there a downward spike? Right now, Villa went from Champions League last season, now we're in the Europa League. We finished lower in the table. Worst goal difference, worst points difference, we finished lower. So what happens if we do that again next season? That's where the questions will come in. And that's how football works. But yeah, interesting. Sancho is a big risk. Absolutely. Yeah, we covered it. Yeah, Jadon Sancho. I don't think anyone's having Jadon Sancho. I haven't had one person turn around and say, Josh, I want Jadon Sancho. Not one person. David said, I'd like to see us make a move from Mingasa, John Rowe, keep Martez, and maybe Jonathan David on free. Watkins, we need to learn to share the time with another striker. It's a team game. Agree on that with Watkins. Jonathan David is wishful thinking now with no UCL. Oscar Mingueza. I watched him in the Nations League final, Portugal versus Spain. I'm going to put that out there. I didn't rate him. It's a one-off game, but I thought he had a bit of a shocker. He was actually at fault for one of the goals as well. Oh. Yeah, we don't want the United Deadwood, James. Absolutely. So, yeah, just on that, Loic Bade, the sign of Loic Bade coming to Aston Villa could happen. It could happen. I think we could see a re-emergence of Loic Bade again. So there we go. This top was the Luke Roper top from the Championship season. One final thing just to share with you is, of course, I did a video on this earlier, but I'll just put it out there. Again, just finally did a video on this earlier. I don't know if you've seen my video upload. If you haven't, go check it out because I do a more in-depth thing on this. But Aston Villa start club-to-club talks for Real Betis talent Jesus Rodriguez, reported by Fabrizio Romano himself. Now, don't want to give my video too much away, but if you're going to be lazy and not watch it, then I'll give you a little bit of a snippet. If you did watch it, then big up to you. Thank you. Essentially, this guy, compared to Moses Simon and Adama Traore. That's what he's compared to. Absolute speed and pace merchant who loves running into open space. A really tall, strong, built, athletic player who's rapid, but is absolutely crap in the final third with no technical ability and doesn't contribute much with his GA. But he's rapid, he loves the ball carry, and he's great on transition. Who you want him? He's 19. He's 19. Is Unai Emery able to coach some technical ability into him? You know, you watch Adama Traore, you watch Moses Simon, and you think, my God, these guys are electric. There have been games where Adama Traore has single-handedly won games by himself. I think of the times where Wolves went to Manchester City away, and Adama Traore tore Man City apart because it was the counter-attack, it was on the transition, his pace. This player, for me, is sometimes the type of player I think that we need on an away game. When we go to the Etihad, when we go to Anfield, when we go to the Emirates, when we set up to play on the transition and counter-attack, bloody hell, Jesus Rodriguez is the man. He's the man. He's absolutely the man, the myth, the legend. We want an absolute rapid winger, but he's got to be better. He's got to be able to cross a road. He's got to actually be able to dribble it, you know, with a player in front of him, not into just open space. So there we go. Hey, big up to the Forest Fan TV raid. Big up to Wolfie, my guy. The Alliance forever. The Alliance forever. Wolfie's just raided. It's the Alliance forever. Big up the Forest fans. We're here with you. We're here to take down the Cartel 6. We're here to take down the establishment. We're here with Newcastle, with Forest, to take down that Cartel 6. And this is our year again. Big up to the Forest fans in here. As I said, we've just gone through some of our transfer rumours and links. We've gone through the fact that we're in for Jadon Sancho. I mean, I've seen that Forest might be losing Alanga. I've seen that Nottingham Forest might be losing Alanga. But would Forest even take Jadon Sancho? I doubt it. Forest fans, I doubt you would take Jadon Sancho. But yeah, guys, big up to everyone. AVFTS clan, if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to Forest Fan TV. Make sure you subscribe to Wolfie. And if one of my mods can put in Forest Fans TV link in there in the chat, that would be great. People can subscribe to that. But yeah, we've basically said we don't want Jadon Sancho. He's on 300k a week. He's absolutely crap. Who would want Jadon Sancho? Absolutely freaking no one. And I couldn't see Forest taking him. I don't think Forest would drop their standards. But does Alanga want to stay? Look, Forest fans are... Look, I find it interesting, by the way. I find it interesting because maybe we are the same level. Some of the players that Forest are being linked to. Look, some of you are telling me in the chat, Forest fans, let me know you're linked to. But we've got here saying, bro, we're signing Eze. Is Eberechi Eze a genuine strong link to Forest? If so, chat, why are Villa not in for him? Frick me. Imagine if we had Eze on the left. Imagine if we had Eberechi Eze on the left. Be absolutely mental. Would be absolutely mental. So are Forest done for him? Would you pick Nipan or Jesus? This is the problem. We've missed out on Sven Nipan. So all we have to do now is look at the other option, which is basically Jesus Rodriguez. Jesus Rodriguez, my speed merchant. But my problem is I do not rate Adama Traore. I really cannot stand Adama Traore. I can't stand players with no technical ability who are just basically 100-meter sprinters. All I'm hearing about this Jesus Rodriguez guy is he's rapid. But where's his ability? Apparently, he can't play against a low block. Maybe Unai could teach him how to do a thing or two. I don't know. But I'm jealous. If Forest are in for Eze, then what are we doing? What are we doing? But love the alliance. Big up to Wolseley. Yeah, and of course, and I've seen that you want Dusan Vlahovic as well. So Elanga wants to stay, and you're linked with Dusan Vlahovic, another player Villa were linked with in the striking options. I think Vlahovic would be best for both teams. I think Dusan Vlahovic would be absolutely suited to both Villa and Forest. I think that basically he suits Forest more if you think about Chris Wood, that style of play. And Forest fans, correct me if I'm wrong, but when Chris Wood got injured, I think you had Timo Awuni. Apologies if I butchered his name up front, but you didn't have that second striker. Villa are in the same boat. If Watkins gets injured, we've got basically Donyell Marlon. We had to use Rashford up front, but we're short of another 9 as well. And the constant links are with Villa is that we're after a backup number 9. Backup number 9, not a starter. So yeah, I don't know on that. I'm going to quickly show everyone. This is what we've been told we're prioritising. And the reason Vlahovic comes because he's friends with Milenkovic. I do love it when players are able to have that pull on that. Right, apparently this is what Villa are after. Forest fans, if you know what you're after, do let me know. Big up the alliance. Total Villa says, in terms of priority signings, Aston Villa would like a right back, which I think will be a centre back, a right back, centre back, a young number 9, and a wide attacker who can play across the front line. Now, that wide attacker is what Jesus Rodriguez plays. And that's my worry. I think Villa are going to go for an experienced right back who can play centre back. And then I think we're going to try and recruit youngsters. I think we're going to go for a young number 9 who's going to play second fiddle to Ollie and learn his trade there and not do a John Duran and kick up a fuss, but hopefully has the talent of John Duran. And then also, I think we're going to have a young winger. It just doesn't look, I'll be honest with you, chat. From having the transfer window of January with Asensio, with Rashford, with Malen, with Desarcy, and then the summer before, big moves with Onana, get Ross Barkley in, just feel like this could be a very tough window for Aston Villa, in which we don't bring in big household names, and that's going to be a little bit disappointing, I think. But, as someone has said, maybe Villa have already done their building for their squad. Maybe we've already built a fairly reasonable to strong squad, and we need 1 or 2 additions. And that right back is absolutely the one. But Eze, how much is Eze going for? Can we get over this Palace of Prime Barcelona? Yeah, we need to. But Eze is an absolute baller. He's too good for Palace. But yeah, Adama's just pace. We need to sort each other out with some of these PSR players deals. Exactly that. I'm not hiding behind the bush here. That Villa need to start doing some clever deals with Forest, with Chelsea, and they need to start doing it ASAP. But I don't think Chelsea like us anymore, so we need to work together. But Tony is saying that Elanga, Murillo, Morgan Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi all stand too. See, Forest are doing what we've done. We want to keep all our best players, and that's why I say I don't want to see. To be honest, I'll put Newcastle in this as well. I do not want to see Newcastle, Forest, and Villa be selling clubs. I want us to take down the Cartel 6. I want us to absolutely destroy what they've tried to build for years and keep Tottenham and keep Man United outside of the top 6 finishing positions in the Premier League. We want to see, Arsenal demise. I feel an Arsenal demise is coming, guys. I feel an Arsenal demise, and Mikel Arteta car crash is coming as well. But yeah, let's see. Jono said that, let's remember, Anthony was even worse than Sancho for stats, and he went to Real Betis. It was a completely different player. True on that one. So there we go. President said, trust in Donyell Marlon. He's a proven player, hungry, skilled, dangerous front of goal. All I see, though, I'm sorry, but all I get with Donyell Marlon at the moment is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer vibes. This guy loves being on the bench and coming off it and making an impact. He did it for the Netherlands again recently. Came off the bench and got like 2 goals and assist or something crazy like that, or assist and a goal. Donyell Malen loves the bench, and he's better coming off it. So Forest after left back, striker, and winger. They're still linked with Douglas Luiz, and Palace wants 70 million for Eze. Oh my Christ! 70 million for Eze is massive, but I reckon he's worth every penny. I reckon Eze is worth every penny of 70 million. By the way, Douglas Luiz. Would Villa fans in the chat? Would you take Douglas Luiz back? And do you think he'd get in our starting lineup? Forest fans, does Douglas Luiz go into your starting lineup over Sangare, over Yates? Why can't I think of another Forest centre mid? You're gonna all like look at me and go, "What are you on about?" But yeah, for me, Douglas Luiz is a player I would take back if we lost Onana and Barkley. I think Douglas Luiz can't come into our current setup. Douglas Luiz simply cannot come into our current setup. We've got too many central midfielders. I also love Dougie. I do love Dougie, and I think there's a quality player there. And he misses Villa. He loves playing for Villa. He loved his time at Villa. I personally take him. Hi, Josh. We said in women's team for PSR and wipe it out. Yes, and we're renaming our stadium as well. It'd be Louise and Anderson behind Morgan Gibbs White. That would cook. That would cook. I think Kamara leaves as well. Douglas leaves. Yeah, so there we go. I'd be gutted to see Dougie play for another Premier League side. I really like Dougie. I thought he was a great servant to us. I thought he absolutely played a massive part in what we tried to achieve. So there we go. Villa need to reduce the average age of the squad also. It's true. That's true. And our wage bill. That's the big one. The wage bill's killing me. And we keep going for players like Sancho linked on 300k a week. I think I'm going to wrap up in a second, chat, but big up to each and every you. Loving all your comments. I think problem with Villa squad is massive wage inflation, so it makes it much harder to keep your players. PSR-wise, and would free up a lot of money of a sell just by saving on the wages. The wage bill haunts me even to Gerrard days. Someone mentioned it, and I think it was James Wood in the chat earlier. The wage bill's haunted us when we've had people like Coutinho, then Donker on these stellar contracts on big money. And then I'm thinking, oh, maybe we're over that. And then I find out that Amadou Onana is on 140k a week. Donyell Malen, 140k a week. Some crazy contracts there. But yeah, I know, Kevin, we're gonna have to deal with it. Villa, but yeah, depends how much they want for Dougie as well. I agree on that one. But yeah, Forest and Villa and Newcastle, it's time to dismantle the Cartel 6. We need another consistent season for all 3 clubs. It's good to see that Forest aren't going to lose any of their key players. And I think with Villa's the same. It's just, for me, I'll be real. I think our window completely is defined on Emi Martinez. I'll put that out there. I think Aston Villa's window is all on our goalkeeper situation. It's so hard to replace a keeper of his standard and calibre. It's a bit of a risk. We know what we get with Emi. And I think if Emi stays, I think it's going to be happy days. If Emi goes, it's panic stations, it's hope, it's overinflated money. People will know we need a goalkeeper. And then it starts to get a little bit ugly. And I think if Emi goes, it might cause a little bit of a domino. I think the players in the squad can live with Leon Bailey going. Maybe even if Jacob Ramsey went. But I think if Emi Martinez goes, that's what then triggers Boubacar Kamara. That's then what triggers Ollie Watkins. And I swear to God, if Ollie Watkins goes to Arsenal, because Arsenal can't sort their shit out and sign Sesko or Gyökeres, then I'm absolutely going to be fuming. That football club's a joke. A club like Arsenal, I've never seen a club think they've got a pool, but they don't. They've got no pool whatsoever. And I know it's rich coming from us. But why have they not sorted the Sesko deal? And then in for a bit of a shot bid for Gyökeres? It's all a mess. And it worries me. And that's why I keep an eye on this Arsenal saga at the moment with their number 9. Because you know what's going to happen. If Sesko and Gyökeres fail for Arsenal and both fall through, you know they are coming straight in for Ollie Watkins. No hesitation. They're going to pay the money. And that's that. And so Villa need to not leave themselves short. And that's maybe why my worry is we leave ourselves short. If you don't replace Cash, you're not serious, mate. Every Villa fan, big up to NFCC 2000. Every Villa fan out here will tell you we need to upgrade on that guy. Hence why this tweet here, as I said, the priority is a right back, first thing right back. But also, it's got to be an experienced one. And it's got to be someone who can also probably play right centre back as well. But there you go. But yeah, big up to everyone. Do smash the like button. Do subscribe if you haven't. And big up to all the Forest fans who've come in from the Wolf Raid. Appreciate it. Look, Villa fans, Forest fans, big up to the Alliance. We'll keep posted, but yeah, I'm getting sick and tired of being linked to dusty Deadwood Manchester United players. I want to start to see some good players. There's Jesus Rodriguez, as I said, pace merchant. Is he the type of player we need at 19 years old? Is he one of those players we'll sign and we'll loan back out as well? All to be revealed. But lots of time in this window, lots of time to speculate, lots of time to enjoy ourselves and see what happens. Guys, appreciate everyone in here. Appreciate all the comments. As I said, if you haven't, like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and shout out to Forest Fan TV, the Wolfie. I'm out of it. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. I'm going to go get some ice lollies and ice creams. It's just too muggy. It's too muggy outside. It's too hot. And I think I need some ice lollies and ice cream. So whatever you do on your Friday night, enjoy it. And I'll see you all very soon. Respect and big up to everyone. Up the Forest Fan TV, up the Villa, up the chat, and up the ice creams now. Guys, I'm out of here. Ta-da.